We call what we do here spiritual work. And we call it that, although then we have a methodology for that spiritual work, which we call variously Kundalini Yoga being the main term, not even slightly or remotely connected to either the conceptual model or the vocabulary or the traditions of the 3HO people and Yogi Bhajan. This Kundalini Yoga is derived from the practices of very ancient devotees of Shiva, who in time also become devotees of the goddess. And the goddess they become devotees of is the goddess Kundalini, which is the life of our life. I guess that sounds kind of ambiguous in a way, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It actually isn't ambiguous at all. Spiritual work, well, what the heck does that mean? Working with our spirit? Does anybody actually know what their spirit is? Well, I'll tell you what I think it is. You can think about it yourself. Our spirit is the life of our life. It is our basic life energy. It is the energy that supports the existence of this body and all the processes that sustain it. And, by now it's been pretty well demonstrated that the body and the mind are completely synonymous. So when I say energy of the body, and I also mean energy of the mind, this energy, this spirit of ours, well, why would we want to do spiritual work? Spiritual work is definitely not religion. It's not based on any idea about what might be, above your head or below your feet. It's not about, praise. Sorry, I've got all these subroutines from Monty Python, the movie, going through my head right now as I start to think about religion. Spiritual work is to release this basic life energy that is our essence and that holds this body and this mind together in a bigger and much more subtle field of experience. And the field of experience that we have is in no way separate from or independent of the basic life force that is operating as the essence of this body-mind. And so, why do spiritual work? Well, I can say that the reason why I did it initially was that coming out of college, I looked out from that elevated place of Indiana University. I looked out at the world and saw that there was not a life that I could live in. There was a life there, but I couldn't live in it. If I tried to live in it, I'd be dead. To give you an example, the first step into that life was a job for Travelers Insurance. If that isn't enough to make you want to kill yourself, I imagine the next step into that would definitely be suicide. But I had no idea what to do next. I mean, there wasn't a life. My mother and father had always told me that the life that I prepared myself for at the university would just reveal itself, and there it would be, and it would be glorious, and it would provide me with a salary and medical benefits and retirement, and most importantly, security. We all want security. And I looked out at the world, I looked into that life and said, there is no security in that. But I had no place else to look. I didn't know what to do. And so the only thing I knew to do, and I was lucky that I kind of came up with this conclusion, was to turn within. It was 1970 after all, and we had just passed through the 60s, and there was a big, Ram Dass had written Be Here Now, and so there were some very huge cultural signposts that suggested this might be a pathway. So I turned within. I took up yoga. Of course, for all of you who are under 50, which is almost all of you, that doesn't seem unusual at all to take up yoga. But in 1968 or 69 in Bloomington, Indiana, well, actually anywhere in the Midwest, and the Midwest means anywhere from Philadelphia to Denver, nobody knew what the hell yoga was. Nobody had ever heard of it before. But I was fortunate. I had a very strange little calculus TA who, even in the dead of winter when it was 10 below zero out, would sit on, he weighed 98 pounds, he would sit on the desk in a full lotus and teach calculus. He also did a yoga class. He taught a yoga class, so I took it. And in that yoga class, for the first time in my life that I could remember, I felt my heart. And I felt happy. And I felt the energy in my body, the energy in my muscles, in my arms and legs, even the energy in my breath start to move inside me. And pardon me if I become exuberant and say to you, it felt fucking amazing. And coming from a place of realizing that there was no life on earth for you to live, to be able to feel this within yourself and to feel that it's really perfectly okay that there's no life for you to live there, was enormous relief to me, a joy. And so I continued in the practice of yoga, continuing to continuing to release the tensions that constrain the circulation of the energy in my body. Release the tensions in my body, release the tensions in my mind, release the tensions in my heart, and ultimately release the tensions that obstruct my connection to my own soul. And in feeling this flow, and feeling that release of tension, feeling it slowly peeling away the layers of me, all of my understanding about myself, all of my understanding about the people I shared my life with, the world I lived in, changed. And it all changed for the better, although some of my understanding became darker, the world part, and some of my understanding became lighter. My energy, my spirit, my heart, my soul became brighter. And the continuation of that, discovering that, I am a condensation of energy in an ocean of energy, in which there is in nowhere is there any nothingness. There is only fullness. There is only abundance. There is only unimaginable possibility. And coming back again and 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 again, I could go on, coming back to that experience of the circulation of the energy, the flow, more healing happened within me and around me than there are words to describe. And as this healing happened, my spirit grew stronger. And the experience of joy within me became more stable so that I could endure, the ever more increasing insults, the ever more increasing responsibility, the ever more increasing strain that comes from two things. One is being radiant, and the other is wearing an orange dress. What can I say? A boy's got to do what a boy's got to do. And so, every day, releasing those tensions. When in religion, they teach you to be a good person, you got to be nice to everybody, and because you want to go to heaven, and if you're not nice, you're going to get, deductions, and you could, if you get enough deductions, end up in hell. Well, we have a completely different understanding than that, which is if you find the flow within yourself and extend that flow to the people you share your life with, then you will understand that they are the same as you. They are condensations of the same energy from the same field that we are. And understanding their uniqueness, their particular arrangement of tensions, from the perspective of our particular arrangement of tensions, is absolutely impossible. And so we cease to do things like hold the tensions of our own judgments, or the judgments that have been put upon us, or the judgments that have been conditioned into us in our family systems. We put all of that aside to find a flow that is healing us and uplifting us and transforming us as it heals and transforms all the lives that our life touches. And this isn't about being a good doobie, but in a way it is about going to heaven, because the more your own spirit rises up from all the heaviness and the darkness that is this stupid world that we live in, to, become and radiate the light, the love, the innate wisdom of the Spirit, to radiate that in every direction for every living being, that is going to transform our life into an unimaginable possibility, which is heavenly most of the time. Not all the time. Everybody has to do cleanup every now and again. That's normal. There's dinner cleanup even in heaven. They don't eat breakfast, though. Spiritual work, releasing the tensions in your body and allowing your creative energy to flow. Finding your breath, finding your flow, realizing that respiratory process, the essence of your existence, is not individualized, it is cosmic. Realizing that we become the spirit, which is the expression of cosmic abundance and unimaginable possibility. We become that. And continuing to practice, we become completely solid in that space, increasingly capable of holding that space for other living beings as they unwind themselves, as they release their own tensions, their own suffering, their own pathology, and rise to the highest level of spirit within themselves, which, slowly turns everything into an amazing place. Oh, being nice to each other isn't about getting brownie points and going to heaven. Being nice to each other is about creating an environment in which we can really grow ourselves. And understanding that, the world is full of, when you get to that place of spirit, the world is full of magic and unimaginable possibility. It becomes, the canvas upon which you can express the beauty which is the essence of your life. Most human beings spend their life wrestling with rabbit pellets. Your spirit is your energy. It is your own creative energy, which for most people is locked in their ignorance, in their tensions, in their struggles. And spiritual work, spiritual practice is about releasing every tension and every struggle. Sometimes it means saying you're sorry for stuff you really didn't do, just to release the tension that's happening in the moment. Sometimes it means, walking away from stuff that you want to fight about. Sometimes it means changing your mind in a heartbeat about something that you feel, as you move into it, becomes a tension. Releasing every stuckness, we become the flow. And the essence of all healing is flow. And in the final, stage of healing, we become completely transcendent of humanity. We become spirit. Our divinity, the essential divinity which expresses itself as this life, becomes so bright that the energy of this body is dissolved into it, and we are a rainbow. Ta-da! All of us are going to work in this world. There's nothing else. Life is work. That's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do about that. It's work. And most of the work that you do in your life will make somebody else much more money every hour than you're making. Most of the work you do will take much more energy from you than it will ever give back to you. The only work you will ever do that will continuously give you more than you put into it and bless you over and over and over again for the duration of your life, even if you stop, is spiritual work. Stop running around chasing shit outside you. It's stupid and useless. Start releasing the energy that is within you, stuck in so many patterns of fear and insecurity, of anger, frustration, density. Let it all go. Let it go. And what you'll find is that your own life, the life energy that is within you, the life energy that you can feel when you relax your heart, when you can relax your gut and your body, that you can feel moving in you as you breathe. That life energy knows what it wants to do in this world. It knows. And for everyone, and this is not a joke, and I'm not trying to sell you anything, for everyone, that what our life wants to do is something wonderful. Something that feels fantastic. And so, if we turn our attention inside and we start to allow that flow to happen, my contention is, and my personal experience is, that the best life that is possible for you will slowly start to reveal itself. How cool is that? Namaste, everybody.